And what's up, nerds? My name is Brendan, the nerd of many faces, and of course, always to my right is my good friend Shane at FDScosplay, and we are the Knights of Nerd, here bringing you a variety of topics every 2 weeks in regards to the nerd universe. How you doing, Shane? It's been a rough week for, I think, the both of us, but you had a little bit scarier of a week than I did, so...
Oh yeah. Just getting over I have no idea what it is. It's not COVID, thank God. Ended up waking up earlier this week with a fever, got a little scare, went in, got everything checked out. No COVID, hallelujah. But still feeling a little under the still feeling a little under the weather, but I'm there. I mean, I've got my cough drops here, so hopefully that'll keep me from clearing my throat too much and coughing up a storm. So, but it's been an interesting week. I mean, the only bright side of it is I got to play a lot of video games.
I mean, hey, what are sick days for if you can't play games?
Right, exactly. I mean, I'm just about done with the new Immortals Phoenix Rising expansion that came out this week, so I've got one more trial to get through, so that'll be fun.
Is it Phoenix or Phoenix?
Phoenix.
I've heard both though, so that's the only reason why I ask.
Yep. Well, the funny thing about that game though, so it originally was supposed to be called God and Monsters.
Oh.
Okay. So when they showed it at E3 I believe it was it last year or year before last?
It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been last year. It wouldn't have been last year because E3 takes place in what, June, May?
Yeah.
They were canceling everything. They were canceling everything in March.
Yeah. So yeah, when they showed it, it was called Gods and Monsters, and they were hailing it as the next kind of like Zelda-esque game, and it was made by Ubisoft, and about halfway through, they changed the name of it to Immortals Phoenix Rising because they thought they were going to get in trouble because of having Monster in it, and they were going to get like a cease and desist or being sued by a Monster Energy drink.
They realize that you okay, whoever their legal team is, you can't trademark like Monster Energy drink. Okay, sure, we know what that is.
Yeah.
But Gods and Monsters, I mean, yeah. I'm sorry, but you can't go through and trademark the word monster. Like you can't trademark.
I know.
Well, I mean, I guess you can trademark one letter words, but generally they have to do with somebody's name.
Right. But at least that's what I heard, and that's why they changed it. I mean, it could be a complete spoof, but
seems weird.
Mean, it's pretty funny to think about.
It's like, oh, we don't want to upset Monster Energy drink. It's like, dude, no, it's like Monster Energy drink isn't gonna care.
Yeah.
But
the game is amazing. Okay, it turned out amazing. It's basically a cross between Assassin's Creed and Zelda.
All right, you had me at Assassin's Creed. I have yet to play it, so I am I've been interested, but there have been other games on my tier list, so I've been cycling through those. And then, of course, my friends always say, it's like, oh, you need to try this. I tried Valheim for the first time today. It's a lot of fun. Reminds me of Conan Exiles, and
nice.
I mean, it's early access, so there are some bugs to still be worked out, but overall it's been an enjoyable experience, and I cannot complain. But
well, I will find out because you talked me into getting it today.
I did no such thing, sir. I have no control over your money. And then, of course, it's like both of us were watching the Super Bowl. Today is Super Bowl Sunday in terms of the day of recording. And both of us were disappointed in terms of I was disappointed in the result of the game. You were disappointed in the more of the less of exciting elements of the game. Is that
the best part of the whole game was when they showed the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer. I lost it. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, the new Disney movie that's coming out. I would have thought that for a Super Bowl trailer or for a Super Bowl, there would have been more like movie commercials out. I mean, they had a lot. But I think this is the reason why. I think the reason why we didn't see that many movie trailers out this year is because it seemed that CBS is pushing Paramount Plus, which is going to be their streaming service that CBS All Access turns into. So now, upon thinking about it for more than 2 minutes, I'm like, oh, now this makes more sense.
Yeah, because only 4 things that they had was, so you had Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think it was a Kari and the Last Dragon, I think is what it was called, something like that.
It's either Akari or Kari and the Last Dragon. It's from the creators of Moana.
Oh, Moana, sorry.
Yeah, it's very Mulan-esque, yes, but is from the people who made Moana.
Moana. Yeah, they had that, and they had a new M. Night Shyamalan trailer for Old, which I've never heard of or seen, and that actually looked intriguing. I was very intrigued at it.
M. Night Shyamalan still making movies?
Right.
I'm sorry, but I have very little faith in him as a director, considering there is that whole entire debacle. I find that funny because we're going to be using that. The one that was like you had the source material, but you still managed to mess it up. Right. And that was The Last Airbender, which we do not talk about.
Could you imagine if they had Filoni on that?
If they had if they had Filoni on that, I would have watched it in a heartbeat. And I'm like, done. I'm going to the theater. I'm going to watch this 17 times, and I am not going to be sorry about it.
Right. Oh my gosh. And then, he's doing not Filoni, but Shyamalan. He's actually got a series on Apple TV that's coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a thing for it on, of all things, my Xbox today. I can't remember the name of it. All I remember is seeing what looked like Rupert Grint, right? Is that his name? Ron Weasley from Harry Potter.
That sounds familiar. We can always we can always make a clarification in the comments down below. Oh, and also by the way, I did make a comment on the video our last video. I need to make a slight retraction. Because I was one of those. I was trying to make a joke about how I wasn't married and the only kids that I had were my cats. Mm-hmm. I somehow slipped up and said that I was married when that part is not true, and people have been asking me about it. So I'm like, they're like, when did you get married? I'm like, I didn't. You said so on your podcast. And I'm like, oh, it's like, did I? So I had to go through and rewatch everything, and lo and behold, there it is. I said I was married, and I'm like, oh no. I don't. Slight retraction, but I mean it's a retraction of the I messed up. I tried to make a funny and the joke fell on my face. Not a retraction of we said this thing and it turned out not to be true. It's like we said this thing against this one person and it turned out to not be true.
Right. And that one person was you.
Yeah, that one person was me. But fun at my own expense, I'm all for.
Right.
So, but yeah, really exciting episode and really interesting episode today.
Yes.
We are talking about the whole entire mess that has plagued gamers, graphic designers, anybody with a PC, anybody who has a hankering for an Xbox, a PS5, a 30 series NVIDIA graphics card, or a graphics card, a GPU from AMD. And it is the Restock Debacle. The tech is out of order. Literally, you can't order it anywhere.
No,
And
nowhere.
we thought it would be interesting to talk about this because one, both Shane and myself, we're both PC gamers, but we do have a difference in terms of console gaming. I prefer PlayStation. He prefers Xbox, and you know, there no fault, no any. It's like play whatever it is that you want to play. I don't care as long as you're having fun, being safe, and all that other fun stuff. Go right ahead. But now it's almost impossible to find the console, the graphics card. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, then it's like the first case I can really think is the Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
When, I mean, because the Nintendo Switch had been out, it's like all well before this.
Yep.
But well, before the scary year of 2020, before COVID and everything else. But then everyone's at home. No one can go anywhere. People are investing in consoles because it's like, okay, this is something that I can do. I don't have to go anywhere. I can get my games online or wherever, and we can go on to detail in terms of whatever gaming platform that it is. But we're going to be discussing the whole entire debacle. I've been saying that word so much, but it's in the title, so therefore, that is a debacle. That is this whole entire restock. Like, would you say this is kind of interesting? First it was toilet paper, then it was hand sanitizer, now it's gaming consoles.
Right. Oh my god. And it's crazy, dude.
Stores are having the weirdest time keeping things on the shelves. And, you know, in terms of this, I think a console or a graphics card, whatever it may be, is a little bit lower on the priority tier than, you know, your basic necessities in terms of, you know, toilet paper or hand sanitizer. Or
right. Well, one of the things that I think it is, the reason is because what other source of entertainment do you have? You know, I mean, you can't go to a movie theater and watch a movie.
I mean, you're absolutely right. It's like you can't go to the...
people are turning to consoles and PC. So it's definitely not a surprise, but it definitely is a shock at where we're at right now with it, because it's just crazy. Well, it's really crazy.
And it's like I do know of some people who are using, especially the Switch. I don't know so much about the PS5 or the Xbox Series X or S because I don't know the technology as well. Just because it hasn't been out as long. But some people are using the Nintendo Switch for their workouts. Like they're playing games like Just Dance 2021 or Ring Fit, or it's like, I mean, I'm going to try the boxing game on the Nintendo Switch just to see how good the cardio is for a workout and see if I can work up a nice little sweat and, you know, be like, boom, boom, boom. I'm Muhammad Ali. I sting like a butterfly. Right. I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I almost reversed that for a second.
I've got my VR, which has, you know, some, you know, I mean, it's full body immersion pretty much with a lot of the games. And I'm trying to remember. I think it was Ready Player One. It was their VR experience that they have for it. And my office isn't very big, and you guys can't see it, but above my head, I've got. I'm a big kid. I'm telling you guys this right now. I'm a huge kid. I've got Star Wars vehicles hanging from my ceiling, and there's one point where you have to. It's almost like playing Pong almost in VR. And I literally went up to do this, and Kylo's TIE Fighter just went flying across my office.
Oh no! I actually I'll quickly tell this story before we get into the topic of today's podcast. My friend very much did the same thing with the Heads Up app. Like, I think the word is volleyball, and they had to act out a spike. It's like, and he acted out the spike motion, jumps up, spikes, hits the chandelier in his living room. Glass comes flying out of that thing, and we're like, oh no. So yeah, always be wary of your surroundings when playing VR game, VR games.
Yes, so, very much so.
Let's go ahead and get to the topic of this podcast. And Shane, go ahead and take it away, because you did the research on Xbox because you are an Xbox household, and Nvidia. So we're gonna go ahead and cover that, and then we'll come back and discuss a little bit in terms of, you know, it's like both topics. So
sure,
Shane, take it away.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I'm an Xbox guy, Xbox family here. We got Xboxes everywhere. Not in the kitchen though, because that would just be nothing that'd ever get cooked. We'd starve.
And also like a safety hazard.
Yes, very much so, very much so. So, but actually, I've got my Xbox right here in front of me. So, yeah. Oh, let's talk about this. So, where do we start? I mean, you know, there is some silver lining in this. You know, earlier this week on Thursday, I want to say Walmart and Newegg announced that they had in stocks of the system. Walmart had just the system, and Newegg had their excuse me, had their bundles up and ready, and they pretty much sold out within a matter of minutes. You know, it's crazy to see how quickly they move when they're in stock, and it's amazing to see how crazy it is and how long it takes them to get them in stock. You know, it's you know, going back to just, I mean, the last gen, I mean, the Xbox One and the PS4, you know, launch titles, launch day, you know, system sold out, of course. Everybody is talking about, oh, there's going to be a shortage, and the following week, you know, they were in stock. But I mean, if anything that 2020 has taught us is don't be surprised, you know, because, you know, there's nothing that can surprise us anymore with this. So the fact that we haven't
don't say that, you're gonna jinx it.
I'm trying not to, but you know, I'm not surprised. I mean, there's a lot that goes into them not having the stock on these. Phil Spencer has announced last year even that you know, they're working on, you know, making sure that systems are in stock and that they have them for retailers and for the public. But I mean, it's not moving as fast as they would like. We'll kind of get into the reasoning behind that in a little bit, but yeah, it's looking like, you know, we're not going to be seeing these in a limited fashion up until maybe June or July, which is crazy when you think about it, because the consoles, I mean, the system came out in November, and here we are already in February, and, you know, who knows how many the retailers are getting. But I mean, they're moving quickly when they're in. I mean, a lot of it, you know, they've done a better job at stopping the scalpers better than what they did at the very beginning. But I mean, you still are going to run into that. You and I were looking at it earlier, and it's crazy how they're kind of getting around, you know, selling it for, you know, upwards of $2,000, $2,200, like how it was when the systems first came out. Now they're just putting them up on auction with a minimum bid of like $700. Well, and then say, okay, here you go, guys. You know, go at it. And you know, it's crazy to see people bid on these things at $700. It's like, you don't need the console that bad. I mean, when you think about it, there's really no real next gen game that's out yet. Everything's made for, you know, the older systems, you know, for last gen systems, the Xbox One and the PS4. And you can play those games on there and they still look great. So, I mean, what's the rush? For me, what's the rush? Because I got both the Series X and the S on launch day, but that's just because that's just me. I'm one of the launch day buy guys. I got to have my console when it comes out. And I know there's more people out there that are like that, but at the same time, you know, a lot of people that are buying these, are you buying it out of this is something that you want, or are you buying it because you need it, and I'll take the latter on that, and it's because you want it, because these scalpers have gone through and kind of created this want for it, because they keep cleaning everybody out of these, and they're building that want for it, and it's crazy to see that happen, because and I understand. I mean, I'm an older gamer. I mean, I've been gaming for a very long time. I'm not going to age myself, but it's every generation, you get new gamers that come in, whether it's I'll use my son for example. He's his first console was an Xbox One. So starting him in into that console, he didn't get one until he was old enough to be able to to really
to appreciate
appreciate it, and now that he's had the system for a couple years now, it's like, okay, I want that new console. Dad, why did you get the new console and I didn't get it? So
because I earn money, that's why.
Right. And that's what I told him. I was like, well, if you want to go get a job and buy your own, you can. I mean, he's 12, but hey, child labor, no.
Paper route, mowing lawns.
Right. There you go.
But wait,
they
it's
don't
like
have
there are no paper
anymore.
routes.
Right. He can go mow lawns. Mow lawns.
Curse you, the internet. Oh wait, we're that's the platform that we're on. Never mind.
Right. So it's I understand it. I get it, but at the same time, you get these people that buy because it's a fad to them. You know what I mean? I mean, we saw it. We saw it back in the day when Pokemon first started. It was kind of the same thing. Constant, different cards, all these different cards and stuff like that, and it was hard to get them. I mean, you would go to stores and they would be sold out of freaking cards, man.
Well, it's like you do that. You can do that with any card game, Shane. You can insert. It's like replace Pokemon with Magic the Gathering. Same problem tends to happen. But so you mentioned cards, and so it's like we'll go to the graphics cards now, because I know that I bought an NVIDIA. It's like I have a 3080 in my computer, but that's because I bought a new PC. But you go ahead, and we'll talk more about that element later. So
yeah. I mean, the RTX 3080. I mean, it's a great card, but you can't get it anywhere. It's sold out everywhere. The only way to really get it is by buying a new PC. Building a new PC through a manufacturer. Whether it's MSI, Dell, HP, one of the gaming computer companies that you can order through. That's really the only way that you can get them. You can't find them just by themselves, which is just really, really crazy, and is just kind of driving everybody crazy, especially those of us that are PC gamers that we're trying to upgrade and stuff like that. Like, I mean, my story, here's mine, different than yours. I bought my laptop early last year. Well, mid last year, I'd say. And I got the latest 2060. Okay. Literally after I got my laptop, they announced the 3080. I'm just like, really? I'm like, I literally, if I would have waited a week, I could have just been like, you know what? Hey, let me pre-order this, get this all built and everything like that, and then I'll get it when it comes out. No, I don't know. But that's just me. That always happens to me. Always. I don't know. It doesn't matter what it is, But yeah, it's just crazy, man. Like, it's consoles, GPUs. It's just like, it's amazing. And you said earlier, you did the same thing. You bought a new PC and got yours. and that was recommended to you because of, I'll let you go from there.
Yeah. Oh, so I was looking at purchasing a new computer for a few months actually. I mean, probably around the same time that you bought your laptop was the time that I was thinking about upgrading my computer, because I had uh, a 1660 Ti in my old computer. I mean, it's still a good computer and everything else, still a workhorse. I sometimes use it for when I'm doing less intensive things, like, not video recording, of course, because I have now the better graphics card. But a friend of mine went through and said, it's like, well, if you're thinking about getting a new computer, why don't you just wait for the 30 series to come out? And I'm like, oh, wait, what? And he explained to me it's the 30 series, and I think I might be misquoting him. And I don't have the technical specs right in front of me to look at them, but he stated the 3060 of the 30 series of graphics card from NVIDIA is supposed to be more powerful than the 2080 series graphics card from NVIDIA. So the lowest tier graphics card is more powerful than the flagship of the previous tier, and it's going to be half the cost. Well, yeah, of course I'm going to go through and wait to buy my new computer. And so I went through, the manufacturer was NZXT. I went through them and built my computer, and I will admit, on release day of the 3080 series, it was kind of difficult. I had to sit at my computer and hit refresh until a new set of 3080s popped up. And I had a lot of time to wait. Now, we can now go through and talk about like what the value or the supposed value is in terms of being the first tier buyer.
Yeah,
because you went through and got the Xbox X first tier, and I got the 3080. It's like pretty close to release date. I'm not going to say that I got it on release date, but I got it pretty dang near close. Like, I didn't have to wait that as long as some people that are just looking to buy the card to plug into their pre-existing computer. So, I mean, I guess the question is, are there any benefits to it? And
right now, yeah, because I got one.
Well, it's like, of course, other than the whole entire thing of yes, because I have it.
Really, I mean, yeah, the games look amazing. The Series X upgrades of the games that they have out. So, Madden, Call of Duty, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Halo the Master Chief Collection. I mean, it looks beautiful. Like, I was like, how are you going to take and make a game that's already probably 10 years old, if that? Because, I mean, the original Master Chief Collection came out. Well, it wasn't the original Master Chief Collection. They had the anniversary edition of Halo came out, back on the 360. And, then when they had the Xbox One, they came out with the Master Chief Collection, and man, they really cleaned it up, because it's just, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, everything from Halo Combat Evolved all the way up to Halo 4, it is super clean. Like, I mean, it's amazing. I was actually in here in my office the other day, and my daughter's like, "Hey, Dad, can I play Fortnite on your console?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead, go right ahead." Dude, she plays Fortnite with her boyfriend all the time. I hate Fortnite. I can't stand the game. But hey, to each his own. Everybody's got their own jam, right? So
yeah, but the one thing that I'm not liking about Fortnite right now is there's that audio. Wait for it. it's the guy from Fortnite. I am not. It's that audio is all over TikTok, and I'm like, no. It's like this is yes. Fortnite has a skin for the Mandalorian, but the Mandalorian is from the Mandalorian, who is from Star Wars. Yes. Know your roots. Know your history.
So I'm sitting in here and I'm playing one of my new games. I just got Werewolf, the Apocalypse, which I can get into later. But I'm just sitting here and I'm playing it, and all of a sudden I hear, "Oh my god, holy shit, oh my god!" And I'm like, I come running out of my office like, "What? What's going on? What happened? Did you break my system? What? This looks amazing." I'm like, really?
It's
like,
it's
really?
Fortnite. It doesn't have that it's like
really?
it's not that graphically intensive.
No, it's not. No, it's not. But it does look really nice. Like they really. I mean, at 60 frames per second, you're not. Here's the one of the downsides to the new systems. Okay, 4K, 120 FPS. All that great stuff is not going to take your TV is not going to take advantage of it.
No, I mean,
because you don't have an 8K TV out yet. Well, they do.
Exactly.
They do. Samsung does. They have their QLED, which supports the HDMI 2.0, 8K graphics, 120 frames per second, beautiful looking TVs. But if you want to drop like anywhere between $1,800 to $2,400 on a TV, then go right ahead. If not, stick with what you got. The games are still going to look amazing on it. You know, you're going to get that crisp, clear 4K, 60 frames per second. You know, it's not going to, you know, if you want to go 120 frames per second, get yourself a PC and have some fun.
Well, it's like, and to your point of everything looking fantastic and everything being in 8K, I mean, going back to NVIDIA, their graphics cards has a 3090 series, which is the only graphics card in the 30 series which you can SLI. And why you would want to SLI a 30 series graphics card is beyond me. Like, if the only reason why I can think that you're trying to do an SLI graphics card for the 30 series is if you're trying to play Crisis, like what, Crisis 2 or 3? Like, what's the Crisis game that breaks most computers?
Crisis 3.
Crisis 3. Okay, thank you. If you're trying to play Crisis 3 at max settings, because it's been stated that it can play Horizon Zero Dawn, which I have played on the PS4. It's already a beautiful game. In 10, basically in any resolution, it is a beautiful, well done game.
It is. It really is.
But with a 3080, it can do it at more than 8K. But the thing is, as you stated before, 8K screens are not that readily available, or it's like, or that fiscally affordable to the basic consumer.
Yep.
So
yeah, and I've played. So I've played Horizon Zero Dawn on my 2060, and it's such a beautiful game. I played it on the PS4 when I had my PS4, and that was one of the games where I was just like, wow, this is freaking amazing. Like an amazing game. And what they did for it on the PC is, I mean, how can you take a game that already looks amazing and make it look even better? I don't get it. It's just ridiculous.
I don't know if it works.
It's so ridiculous.
And so another company that we have to talk about is AMD, because they're in this crap too. So the CEO, Lisa Su, I hope I'm saying her name right, they're being affected by more than just shortages. They're being affected by tariff policies, COVID, freight, shipping, you name it. But the thing is that AMD is different from NVIDIA, and because what, Shane, they make processing chips, graphics cards. What else do they make other than those two things?
Well, here's the thing with AMD. The main issue is they make the chipsets for both the PS5 and the Series X.
Oh.
So their shortages is affecting the distribution of the consoles.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's crazy. You know, AMD is, you know, not only being, you know, affected by, you know, their chipsets, but because of the shortages, it's affecting the consoles too, because Microsoft uses AMD and so does Sony. So it's pretty crazy to see how all this kind of almost comes full circle. You know what I mean? So it's just amazing.
Everything starts from the PC and then just trickles down.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
So, and I mean, now we get to the fun part of what can you do to go through and actually buy these things. And in all honesty, the whole entire thing, I'm pretty sure that folks can see the cursor on the screen. You know, here's the NVIDIA graphics card, you know, from it's like Gigabyte, GeForce, RTX 3060 Ti, DirectX, blah da 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 da. 390, check availability, check availability, check availability, check availability. This generally, or as I have seen through all four of these examples, means that they're all sold out.
Yep.
Meaning that they don't it's like, you know, you can't get them anymore. Try again later, everything else. And I know that there have been Twitch bots, or there have been bots actually on Twitch that have been monitoring the availability of these graphics cards, and they will inform people of, hey, this is now available from this store, go get it while you still can.
Yeah.
That is how another friend of mine was able to get his 3080 graphics card. And you know, the thing is that it's not just it's not just Newegg. And here's all of the AMD stuff. You know, here's AMD's processors, and here's AMD's graphics cards from Best Buy. Yep. And of course, they are all sold out. I mean, it's like, and you're absolutely right when you stated before that this shouldn't really be that surprising.
No.
And so, you know, I can understand some aspects of frustration and everything else in terms of like, I want this thing. However, I mean, there is that phrase, gimme never gets. So by going through and saying it's like, oh, it's like, I want this, I want this, I want this. I mean, creating the false sense of demand.
Yep.
Goes through and actually, you know, it hinders this whole entire process. I mean, the CEO, or I am sorry, I forgot the name of it's like Hiroki Totoki. I hope I said that name correctly.
It's all right.
Stated, we have not been able to fully meet the high levels of demand from customers, but we continue to do everything in our power to ship as many units as possible to customers who are waiting for a PS5. And he is, let's see if I can find his official title, because I can't find his specific title, but I will give him credit in the description down below. And
well, I'm curious to see, you know, because he talks about, you know, to customers who are waiting for PS5s. Now, that's a broad span. Are we still trying to fulfill pre-orders?
Well, it's like I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. But when we have stuff like this showing up, now this is from eBay. If you couldn't tell by the user interface and also the giant graphic that I have over there. Now, Amazon, it's like, I will say this, Amazon has been doing a great job in terms of taking care of those that have been inflating the price of a PlayStation 5 beyond its MSRP,
Mm-hmm.
or its recommended MSRP. Now, the whole entire thing about this is, I think that this is how they're getting, how some people are getting around that. So, on the far right is the bottom link of the search in eBay for PlayStation 5s.
Yeah. See, and here's the thing too. The one thing that kind of really upsets me. I want to make sure I'm not over saying something. But is what really makes me mad about this is, you have your recommended MSRP, which the system is $499.99, right?
$499.99 for the disc
PS5,
version, $399.99 for the digital.
For the digital, right? Here's the thing. The cost to build these is a difference of like $70. So when you're buying a new console, the company that's selling it, so Amazon, Best Buy, and so forth, is only really making 60, $70 on the sale of the console, because they had to pay, about 85% in for the cost of the console. But that's how it is with electronics, period.
Yeah.
The cost of them is just ridiculously high, because there's so much that goes into it. And then you see these guys that are turning around and they bought it. That's great. Hey, Amazon and them got their money, but to turn around and sell for 2 times the cost of the console is ridiculous, man. I mean, come on.
It's like 2 to 3 times. I mean, I was a few weeks ago, I saw on Amazon that someone was trying to sell a PlayStation 5 for somewhere around I want to say $1,200.
Yep.
And I mean, I'll tell you, it's like, I tell you what, never in my life have I seen so many guys get on and give this person 1-star reviews and saying you're a scammer. And then I kind of sort of was like, it's like, dude, you have the audacity to say that shipping is going to cost you $800 for the cost to ship this, when we all know that's not true. The boxes that the boxes that any computer technology, it's like anything that is computerized, has microchips, whatever, comes in fairly secure packaging, unless you're taking it out and putting it in something different. Then it's, I mean, if it comes in those boxes, it's a snug fit, it's tight, it's not going to jostle around. The thing that comes down to it is weight. And I mean, sure, your package, it's like, and sure, maybe your package handlers, because I'm pretty sure that we've all had that crap delivery driver who just chucked our package onto our front doorstep and walked away. But then somebody else is liable for it. It's not the seller. So, the whole entire thing about people it's like, and I also have read articles about some of these scalpers, and in all honesty, I don't hold them accountable for, it's like, I hold them accountable, but I do not necessarily blame them for the actions that they're taking, because a fool and his money are soon parted. Because there was one person in particular who was interviewed by, I cannot remember where I saw this article, but it was around Christmas. They said that with the whole entire thing of them buying PlayStations at regular MSRP and then going around and then inflating the price, helped them pay for Christmas for their families, because they were out of jobs because of the pandemic or what have you. I mean, last year was a hard year. However, now it's kind of getting to the point where it's like, come on, guys, we've been through this dog and pony show before. So let's not go through and actually have it be such where this is now the norm and standard in regards to what it is. So,
Well, here's one of the things that just drove me crazy, though. Just straight up blatant what they did. There was an eBay. I'm trying to say this, but I can't help but laugh at this. But there was somebody on eBay selling a PS5 for $500 for the regular MSRP.
okay.
But here's the catch. In the small writing, it said, "This is for the box only."
Oh, make sure to read that fine print, ladies and gentlemen.
And somebody actually bought it and posted about it and was pissed.
Oh, I would,
because they spent $500 on an empty box.
I would be too. I would be. It's like, but the thing is, it's like, who you got to be pissed at more? The guy who sold it to you,
Right.
or yourself for not reading all the fine print? Because in all honesty, if I saw PlayStation 5 on eBay marked at regular MSRP, I would be wondering what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Because there's something fishy about this. No one's out to make 1 cent. It's like no one's just out to make 1 cent.
Yeah.
It's like, unless he has like 5,000 of them, then he makes 5,000 pennies, which only equates to the price of a PS4.
Yeah, I was blown away at that. I was just like, wow.
Sorry, PS5. I keep on saying PS4.
It's all right. You're still stuck in the back in the last gen. It's all good. It's all good.
It's all because I still own a PS4. I still own my PS4 Pro, and I am going to be happy with it until it's like, I mean, in all honesty, I'm going to be happy with it until it's no longer supported in terms of titles.
Right.
So
I mean, will I end up getting a PS5? Probably. Probably mid-gen. Normally, I would be like, yes, I'm getting it. Like, when they're available, I'll be getting it, but I don't have to now. I mean, really. I mean, my one game that I would buy a PlayStation for is now cross-platform, and that's MLB The Show. And you know, I mean, I know that they've announced a new God of War. I love God of War. Don't get me wrong. I love God of War, but I've got PlayStation Plus, and so is it Plus or no? That's the no.
PlayStation Plus is the subscription-based platform in which PlayStation does have, if that's what you're thinking of.
No, it's their Game Pass.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus is their game.
Is it PlayStation? Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I have that. So I play that quite frequently. I mean, I go back and I'll jam through, you know, old games and then whatever new PS4 games that they put up on there and stuff like that. I mean, $50 for a year. I mean, that's not bad.
60.
The 60. Yeah, sorry, 60 for the year. I mean, the library's not bad, but I mean, they don't update it as much as I'd like to see them updated. But I mean, I still get my PlayStation fix whenever I want to go play a PlayStation game. You know, it's definitely there. I mean, they've got every God of War game except for the newer one. Which is fine. But you know, at least I can go back and I can play those and stuff like that. But I mean, unless they come out with another game that's gonna like just drive me to buy the system, I probably will wait until, you know, midway through, you know, once they announce, you know, the PS5 Slim, and then I'll turn around and go buy, you know, original PS5 or whatever, you know. And go from there. But you know, it's you know, the whole shortage thing is I'm just blown away, man. I really am.
Well, so I guess now the question is like, what can we say? It's like, I mean, what tidbits of wisdom can we actually impart onto anyone who's listening? It's like anyone who's listening or watching or what have you.
The best thing I can say is be patient. Wait, there's no reason to rush out and get a next gen console right now because there really isn't anything that's next gen right now. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
nice to have the upgrades, what they call it, from the Xbox One or PS4 to the PS5 and Series X. That's nice and great and all, but you can still play the game and enjoy it on the last gen consoles. When I would look for to get the console is when you start seeing those next gen exclusives coming out, or that next gen game that you're just like, oh my god, I gotta have it. Like for me, I was I was at the point where I was okay if I wasn't able to get an Xbox on launch day, because the game that I wanted, and that is my bread and butter that I buy every single game of, Halo, got pushed
Halo.
back.
I'm
Yeah,
like, this has to
so
be Halo you're talking about.
so you know, wait for that go-to game of yours. Stay with what you got. You're really not missing much. I mean, you're really not. I'm being straight honest. From playing, I've played the Series S, which I have, and I played the Series X, which I have. Yeah, it's nice to have the updated graphics, which is fantastic and all, but it's really not using the full power of the system. We're probably not gonna get that until at least second, third generation titles. Once developers really learn how to develop for these systems.
Or if you
I
still,
mean,
or if you still by chance have Cyberpunk.
yes, right,
I
right.
mean,
That's a whole nother rabbit hole
that's
we can
that.
go down.
Yes, that's a whole entire another rabbit hole that we can go down. But I mean, it's true though. Like,
Yeah.
if you look at Cyberpunk 2077, the graphics and the graphics processing of that game is intense enough to warrant a PlayStation 5, an Xbox Series X or
Yeah.
S.
Well, here's the thing.
I would
Here's
argue.
the thing, though. They haven't even updated it yet to run the PS5 or Series X. It's still running on the coding for the Xbox One.
Oh, okay.
That's why you're having all the issues with the last gen games.
Okay.
Because it hasn't even had its quote unquote upgrade to the next gen status, which we probably won't get until I think either the end of this March. I know that they just came out with like I said, here we go, another damn rabbit hole. But
there's a lot of them.
But they just released the patch 1.2, which fixed some issues from the last patch and stuff like that. But I mean, we can get into that, and that'll be another hour-long show. But they really haven't upgraded it yet to run at full capacity on those consoles. So it's I'm looking forward to that. That's why I haven't played it, because I'm waiting for them to fix all the bugs and do the upgrade and stuff like that. Even though I've already finished the game, I have around 50-60 hours into the game. So I'm looking forward for that upgrade to go back through and play it through it again as a different character. So fingers crossed that they get everything up and running and it's going smoothly.
Yeah, for me, it's like I still own it. I own it on it's in my Steam library, but I'm gonna wait until see. It's like I'm gonna wait till enough patches come out to be like, okay, the bugs are fixed. Cool.
Yeah.
Tally ho.
Yeah.
And
I was actually just reading an article that a player crashed the entire game by blowing up every car in the game.
Of course they did.
Why not? Hey,
well,
I got nothing else better to do.
It's like I got nothing else better to do. I'm gonna blow up every single car I can.
Yeah.
Because I mean, well, in terms of graphic processing, explosions takes quite a bit, considering you got particle physics, explosion physics, smoke physics, all this, lots and lots of physics.
Yeah, right.
into that particular event, and yeah, no. But in all honesty, you and I are probably going to echo the same sentiment. It's like, wait, be patient. Nothing is coming out that requires the 30 series graphics card. There's nothing that requires the, Threadripper from AMD. mean, if you want to call it future proofing, quote unquote, guess what? All of our tech is out of date within like 3 months, anyways.
Yeah, right.
So really, there is no essence of future proofing.
No.
So.
And you know what? I'm happy with my 2060 that I've got. I mean, it runs the games all at max. I don't have any issues. I mean, why I don't feel that I would need to upgrade, you know, because there isn't really anything that is going to run it to where any better than what I've got it.
Yeah,
you know, maybe you know the 3080 that you've got, you know, maybe you get better ray tracing and shadows and stuff like that, but other than that, I mean, really, what's the difference?
Well, I can tell you this: I couldn't do all the stuff that I have been doing in terms of like pre-production work,
right,
like putting stuff together in terms of what we have going here, recording, making sure that all the graphics are set and everything else. I couldn't do that. I know that I couldn't do that on my 1660. My computer would be having a very difficult time in handling that. So yes, I am using my 3080 to probably not its fullest potential, but it's getting closer. I mean, all what I probably need to do now is just throw on a graphically intensive game and see how well it can handle, you know, recording the podcast, me doing whatever shenanigans that I can do in that game. But again, just be patient. I know that it's like we know that it sucks because there are times where it happens to everybody. There's something out there that everyone wants. But if we start creating this influx in demand, that's just going to drive the price up, and you're not going to get it as quickly as you want, because people are going to be like, oh, the demand is really high for this, so I'm going to go through, buy it all, and mark up the price again. Yep. I mean, that's the long and the short of it. So
yeah, it's crazy, you know, but yeah, you know, just, you know, reiterating what we said, you know, just wait. Just take your time, enjoy what you got right now. You know, play your games on your PS4. I was gonna say PS1.
If you still got the system, go ahead and play the games. Some solid games on the PlayStation 1.
Really great games on PlayStation 1. God, I mean, I don't even know how many times I went through Metal Gear Solid. I mean, geez, I love that game.
I would play Spyro till the cows come home. I swear. But that is it for this week's episode of the Knights of Nerd. Thank you, Shane, as always. Thank you for dragging yourself out of bed or wherever it was. It's like, you know, raising your corpse from the dead to join me this evening. And in 2 weeks, we get to have a very, very, very special episode.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this.
It's our we're gonna do our WandaVision episode full with predictions, potentially a special guest. We'll let you know in the comments. And this, it's like we'll let you know in the comments, or follow us on social media, and we'll let you know there. Now, hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. My name's Brendan. That's been Shane. We are the Knights of Nerd. And hey, let's talk nerdy.